San Francisco is nuts, guys. Real estate property prices are so low that it's unimaginable. Imagine this situation. You could trade in like a 6,000 square feet, luxury penthouse, or even just like a luxury, like 7-bedroom condo in Miami. And just imagine you could trade it in for one of the best hotels in San Francisco. You would probably not believe me before the pandemic. But now, with so many people leaving, yeah, it's happening everywhere in the city. I mean, this city is really, really trash. Now, a lot of cities like New York, for example, they're doing pretty good. Even Chicago tourism is actually doing not that bad despite like the craziness of the place. But San Francisco is on a whole different level. It's so crazy that you could literally, I guess, poop on the floor on the streets, you urinate on the streets and nothing happens, right? I mean, every city has crime. But it's one thing to have crime and another thing to have crime and nobody cares at all. I mean, the tourists are scared of the city. The people who live here are scared. They lost almost 200,000 office workers. I mean, San Francisco is truly down in the dumps right now. And literally, by the way. So, Nob Hill's Sentry Old Huntington Hotel has been bought out of foreclosure. So, what's going on is this is a very nice looking hotel, guys. This is not some cheap Motel 6 you find like next like a gas station. This is actually a high-end hotel that it's actually in a pretty good place. So Nob Hill is actually one of the areas in San Francisco where it commands a decently high rent, I guess, before the pandemic. And it's slightly above the Tenderloin district. But overall, before the pandemic, it was a pretty clean place. It's pretty nice. But what about now? Now it's actually filled with just people doing drugs. It's just another open air drug market at this point because you do have the Tenderloin district expanding out so much. It's crazy. Check out this building, guys. This is a beautiful building. It's gorgeous, okay? This building just screams San Francisco. It has all the nice San Francisco elements. You even got some of the vines. It's like a really good 100-year-old like hotel. Like, what can I say? If you want to go to San Francisco, if you want to have that pre-war, old San Francisco hotel experience, this is kind of like the hotel to be, guys. This is where people like to go. And businesses used to be booming for this hotel. Now it's pretty trash. And Nob Hill's real estate prices are dropping like a rock. So what's happening here? So apparently the owners for this hotel pretty much said they're barely getting any tourists. And that kind of sucks because even the guys Airbnb, the small hotel guys, they're saying that before the pandemic, out of 30 nights, they could easily rent out 25 to sometimes even a max 30 nights, right? Because so many international tourism is here. So many big companies were here. But now with a loss of 200,000 office workers, and a lot of these office workers used to have families that visit them, and a lot of these tech companies are moving out of San Francisco, VC funds are going elsewhere. So a lot of these Airbnb guys are saying now, out of 30 nights, they only get like 3 to 5 nights. And you already have one of the biggest hotels in San Francisco shutting down, Park Hotels and Resorts, and their 3,000 room hotel empire in San Francisco, down in the drain. So essentially, they defaulted on a $56.2 million loan. The original owners were completely broke. They didn't want to continue financing a hotel that makes no business. Like I said before, tourism in San Francisco is super low. Why would you go to San Francisco? There's so many better areas. You got Panama City, you got Tampa, you got Austin, even got Manhattan's pretty good, honestly. You even had Miami. Why would you go to San Francisco? There's so many better areas. If San Francisco cleans up, absolutely, it's a great place for vacation. But right now, you do have the original owners taking one of the fattest losses ever because guess what, right? A lot of San Francisco hotels are facing this issue. And this hotel you see was originally bought for $87 million. And guess what it's sold for now? $29.7-ish million. Guys, that's almost a 70% discount. You can't even get a 70% discount on Black Friday for most retailers. But you could get a 70% discount on massive hotels in San Francisco. This whole entire hotel will sell for $29 million is absurd, guys. If you just go to places like Manhattan, for example, you could easily find a random condo for like 30 million bucks, right? Let's just look around here. I mean, just right off the bat, you already have some very expensive condos that are selling for so much more money. I mean, a townhouse in Manhattan will easily cost you 50, 80 million dollars. This penthouse, right? 63 million bucks. I mean, this is insane. I mean, in New York City, real estate prices still command a lot of respect. I mean, look at this one. You have this 7,000 square feet condo, and it's worth like $8 million more than that unit. If you go to Singapore, you could get yourself like a tiny little townhouse for $30 million. Go to Hong Kong, get yourself a pretty decent, 5-bedroom apartment for $30 million USD, let alone a whole entire hotel. And guys, a lot of San Francisco hotels are begging the city for tourists to return. And one of San Francisco's biggest tourist sectors, which is the Chinese tourist, in 2019 spent at the city about over $1 billion with 500,000 visitors from China. Where are the Chinese visitors now? Chinese tourism in San Francisco dropped to like near zero. Chinese tourists, the first wave that came to San Francisco, everybody said bad things about it, right? But a lot of Chinese tourists actually like Los Angeles because the good areas are actually pretty clean. A lot of Chinese tourists actually like places like Manhattan. They say it's actually pretty cool. A lot of Chinese tourists also love Miami. So you have a lot of other American cities getting that Chinese tourism money. But San Francisco is so bad that a lot of countries and their tourists don't want to go to San Francisco. And remember, San Francisco is also home to the original Chinatown. So a lot of tourists from China do want to check it out, but they don't want to do it anymore. Everyone says the city is crazy dangerous. You want to go out at night. Oh, you left something in your car? It's probably gone the next morning. And San Francisco, guess what the response is to the owners? Oh, we're going to launch like a $6 million ad campaign. Like, bro, just clean up the streets, okay? Nobody wants an ad campaign. Everyone just wants like a slightly cleaner street. So businesses will actually move back. So a lot of people are saying that San Francisco's priorities aren't straight, right? Elon Musk puts an X on the building and they launch one of the biggest police investigations. And then, of course, somebody steals a car, drives it off like a massive stairwell, crashes it on a pedestrian street, and all charges are dropped. So the priorities of the building are really screwed up at this point. So the only main tourist attraction in all of San Francisco truly is going to be Elon Musk's X, which was originally called Twitter. That's like the only tourism area where people are actually taking pictures. Everywhere else is like pretty empty and pretty lame. San Francisco has a pretty special place in my heart because I visited several times before the pandemic. But, okay, with the recent situations being this crappy, there is no way I'm visiting this city ever again unless they clean up the streets. Too many car thefts, too much crime, too much looting. Guys, Gucci store and Louis Vuitton store got looted a few times. And I guarantee you get looted a few more times, they're probably going to be moving out. The last straw for any major building, I guess any major city, is gonna be luxury stores. Rolexes, Omegas, Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, Gucci. If these stores leave, this city is completely screwed because that pretty much indicates every single rich person is probably gone. Look at this. San Francisco, just a common everyday occurrence. Police does nothing, the city does nothing, crime is out of control. You got just straight up like a robbery. Somebody broke into someone's car. This is actually freaking insane. Okay? Like, look at this. This is actually crazy. There is no law in this city. And small business owners are absolutely furious about the situation because, it's been happening everywhere all the time. I just can't believe San Francisco has really deteriorated to this situation. And like I said before, the priorities of the city isn't straight at all. If you just type in San Francisco, it's always just tents everywhere, man. Like, there's literally just tents and tents and tents everywhere. Crime is probably the highest. Don't even think about opening business here, even though they're trying to incentivize you with 50 G's. You're just going to lose that business in the next few years. And I have several more stories. Even Williams-Sonoma, the store that sells luxury pots and pans, they're gone too. Probably from intense shoplifting. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe below. Much more to come.